Title: The Double Life of Ant Costa. Ant Costa had always thought of himself as a man with a cause. Growing up in East London, he'd thrown himself headfirst into the political woke party, championing every progressive issue under the sun. Climate justice, gender equality, anti-capitalism, you name it. Ant was there with a placard in one hand and a soy latte in the other. But somewhere along the line, things started to change. It began at his favourite Chinese takeaway, Golden Dragon. One night, after placing his usual order, Mr. Liu handed him his food with a sharp look. "You lot always talking about cultural appropriation," he muttered, shaking his head. "Now people scared to even eat Chinese food." The comment stung more than the hot sauce. Ant thought he was supporting local businesses, not offending them. Then came the library incident at the top of Bethnal Green Road. Ant, juggling a stack of overdue books on intersectionality and post-colonial theory, was met with a glare from the librarian. "Typical," she sneered. "Preaching about community values and can't even return a book on time." The whispering around him felt louder than any protest chant he'd ever shouted. Things only got worse. At the Hackney Deli, the barista rolled her eyes when he tried to order his oat milk flat white. His old mate Harry, a 68-year-old Sainsbury's delivery driver, even gave him grief. "You've gone soft, Ant. All this woke nonsense ain't real life," Harry chuckled, slapping him on the back. The laughter felt like betrayal. Feeling alienated from the very movement he'd dedicated his life to, Ant found himself drifting. One day, out of curiosity, or maybe frustration, he stumbled into a Britain First meeting. Expecting hostility, he was shocked when he was greeted with open arms and a firm handshake. "We get it, mate," one of them said. "You've been burned. We all have." At first it felt like a release. No more worrying about saying the wrong thing, no more walking on eggshells. But what started as casual conversations soon spiraled. By day, Ant maintained his image as the Wokey Blokey, still checking his privilege, still attending rallies, still sipping his soy lattes. But by night, he was diving deeper into darker corners of the internet, trolling people like LBC's James O'Brien with venomous comments and feeding off the chaos. His double life couldn't last forever. The tipping point came on International Women's Day at the British Library. An argument over a book turned into a shouting match, and before Ant knew it, he'd crossed a line, literally and figuratively, by throwing a punch at a feminist activist. The incident made headlines, and his carefully balanced world came crashing down. With nowhere left to turn and his reputation in shambles, Ant fled the country. Ironically, the man who once raged against climate change now found solace in frequent flights, hopping from one country to another, trying to outrun the mess he'd made. 68 countries later, Ant Costa was still searching for something he couldn't quite name, a place where he truly belonged.